welcome back to my bench. Today we have the brother of the Harris limiter that we did the other day. This is what it looks like in the front. It's got a meter. It's got 5 pots here, one for input level. This is expander on off. This is medium, fast, and slow for the action, the attack and recovery. This is for the compressor, and this is for the output level. The back of it has nothing, again, almost. It has inputs and outputs, power cord, fuse. And this one has a stereo sync. I guess it says, do not ground center conductor of the stereo sync jack under any conditions. Make connections with power off. Okay, so they're very, very adamant about that. Also, this is a model number 99466290004. Don't go looking for manuals. You won't find any. There are none for this thing. I can't find them. Matter of fact, the only thing I've ever been able to find for this at all was a, let's see where to go, was a picture of the manual. Right there. It says, Solid Statement AGC Amplifier Model 6629. Oh, well, I guess that's better than nothing, I guess. Well, I can at least know there was one somewhere available sometime along the line from the 70s on, but I can't find one to save my life. This is a picture of the front. This one is not in as great a shape. I don't know. This particular model might be newer because it's black. Harris went to this. That's Harris Gates that you see there. But it sure looks like the same animal. And if you look here, you've got expansion on, off, fast, slow, compression on, off, output level, and the first picture shows input level right there. So I don't know if that's exactly the same thing, but it looks like it. So if we get back to this guy here, you can see. All I had to do with this was change a few caps. These guys here, these were already changed, and these are 220s at 50, and I'm not going to change them. They're fine. Somebody else had done this before. Interesting method, but all the rest of these were way out of tolerance. These little guys down here, all of these little sprigs, these were fine. They're all good, and so is this. These weird little, whatever those are called, the little cap. It's some sort of special cap. The inside, we've got adjustments for things like, this is the initial compensation set or compression set. This is the meter sensitivity, the meter 0. This is the compression gate, and this is the power supply set. Unfortunately, I know nothing about what it's supposed to be. However, I did get it working. Let's, I'll bring up the, everything moved around. Here's the function generator, and let's bring up the scope. The function generator right now is set at 2.5 volts at 1000 hertz. If I bring up the scope, you can see there, we've got 1000 hertz. Looks good. Everything's fine. I will adjust my function generator here and show you. I'm going to take this down to 0.5 volts, and you can watch the action of the AGC. If it's too low, it'll bring it up. If it's too high, it'll bring it down. Compander, that's what they're called. So let's take it down to 0.5 volts. And it is rising, it's trying, and it'll get to about there. And we can see the expansion expansion compression is way down there at the end. If I put the 2 volts back in, see it pop up, and there it went. Now, if I take it up to say 5 volts, 5.5 volts of input, watch the scope, it doesn't do anything. It does what what it's supposed to do. It maintains it there for that what's going in. However, turn the compression off, and there you go. It's even flat topping. So it's doing what it's supposed to. If I turn the expansion off and take this guy down to 1, see? And turn it on. Here it comes. It's rising. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So this thing is doing what it's supposed to do. It seems to work fine. However, I got a question, and this is for all of my viewers out there that have been around for a few years in the radio business. Do you have any idea where this meter is supposed to be set? From looking at it, it almost looks like, let's get rid of that for a minute and just go back to here. It looks like the meter should be set in the center so it can swing either for expansion or for compression. However, I don't know, the one picture that I've seen of it ever, that if you look over here, if you look here, right here, that meter, this thing isn't plugged in, and that meter is laying right in the center with no input. I'll get rid of the input, see what it does here. Yeah, it's swinging up in the inside of there. Take a look. See where it's at? So, turn off the compression and the expansion, and it sits right there. So, with no input, I can take the meter 0 and turn it to where it looks like it is in the picture, which is right there. Then see with the picture, where is it? Yeah, well, there we go. See where it is with the picture? It's right there. And then when I give it some voltage, let's say 2 volts, well, it won't do anything because I got everything turned off. Turn it back on again. Wow. There, went into expansion because it's not high enough, and compression. So it just slammed that needle clean over to the side, and that's with 2 volts in it. If I take the 2 volts and I make it 3.8, which is 0 level with this particular machine, now I get it to sit right there where it normally sits with no input at all. So I'm confused. I don't know where it's supposed to go, except by that picture I have. So if any of you guys have got any idea, if you've worked with one of these things, you got it sitting in the rack in one of your places that's been on the air since the 60s or 70s or whatever, if you all could leave some information down below to let me know where that needle is supposed to be set for 0, and possibly how to set the meter sensitivity, or if you've got a manual sitting around down at the transmitter or wherever you would have this thing, probably be down at the transmitter. I don't know. Back in the back of the files that you got that you haven't looked at for like 40 years, if you've got a manual, I'd be glad to pay you something for it if you'd copy it into a PDF. It would be absolutely fantastic for me, because I can't find anything. Or even if you rifle through it, and I'd love it if you'd rifle through it and say, hey, this is how you're supposed to do it. So anyhow, please, if anybody's got information, leave a comment on here and get together with me somehow, and I would be ever so grateful. This one says 1977, so that tells you it's a 1977 model. I didn't see that before. Anyhow, oh well, there we go, guys. So that's the solid statement AGC from Harris Broadcast Products. Semi-forgotten piece of equipment, I guess, and I want to get this thing back to where it's supposed to be. I know it's working and functioning like it's supposed to. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Till next time.